Oh, let's do it live on a Monday edition. Merely Bo, the Great Z. Welcome into the undisclosed location. How you living, buddy?
I'm doing well. I'm happy to say that the location remains undisclosed, much to the chagrin of the official Nana of the show, but that's what
She wants it disclosed?
Yeah. I said then it won't be
I don't think that's a good idea.
then it
for
won't be
anybody.
undisclosed.
No.
Undisclosed means
Mystery.
Undisclosed. She did even posit at one point. She posited that this was a fake fireplace that we've set up, and she thinks we could be because she surmised that we were in a shed because we were talking about how it was dark and dim and then the lights. Yeah, she's like, maybe we're in a shed with a fake fireplace set up. I said, what?
Well, now, to be fair, let's just pull the onion on this a little bit, pull a layer off.
Sure.
She is your mother. You could just tell her where we are.
Yeah, no way.
love
Undisclosed is
that.
undisclosed.
I think that's delicious.
I had friends all weekend that were like, "You want to? No.
Give
How
it.
about it? No."
Give it.
There isn't one person that knows.
I've tried
my
to give
life.
it away a couple times last week.
You
Yeah, you
did.
did.
You gave hints. No.
careful,
She was on the
Yep.
fence.
I tried.
She was
I
on
tried.
that. She was
Can't
on
have
that.
it. Can't be doing that, Gibby.
Nope.
Gibby, how tempted are you to, when we pack up shop in the afternoon, to just have a few folks over? Let what's natural
Who's to
happen.
say he hasn't?
What's in the fridge?
Well, you weren't here Friday.
That's true.
Who's to
I
say he
had
hasn't?
I had a very very productive day on Friday. It was nice.
Well, how's that not productive?
And I was out the door by 3:30.
Wonderful.
I had
Back home by 4.
What
I
a
had
weekend.
productive day.
Yeah, I had to finish putting together segments, so I mean it wasn't.
Yeah.
But we had it was a very fine show on Friday.
It actually was. I
yeah,
actually got compliments on Friday. So I was like,
Tell me about it. We're let me ask you guys
"That was a
this:
good one."
do you think that because we are so starved for good weather, we appreciate it more than the people who have it all the time?
Yes.
Maybe, but so what? I'd rather not be
Of course.
appreciative of it because it's so normal and mundane.
For me, like Saturday, when we get done with the lacrosse in the midday, we were all done by 4 o'clock. I was home, and I'm sitting out poolside. Boys are frolicking, sun, and I'm just going, how's it get better than this, man?
See, I didn't have sun.
We had sun all day.
We did
Saturday.
not.
No,
I
it gets
played
better
in,
than that. When that's
I played in
all the time.
overcast
Right.
conditions all day. I played golf.
You were overcast all day Saturday.
all day.
Sunday was overcast for us. We had our first foursome with the boys. We had that on Sunday. Me and Bootsy versus.
Did you make a hole in one?
Huh? Actually, 2. Bootsy did have a 12-footer. First hole always sets the tone. We play best ball. Bootsy rolled in a 12-footer to win the hole. I don't even know if he was aware necessarily of what he is, or if it's just so cool that he was completely nonplussed by it. Just,
That's
no
what I
big
do.
deal. Just rolled it in. Crushed him.
Bottoms.
Yeah. We were overcast Sunday, but Saturday was pristine.
I
Saturday
shouldn't
was
say that.
great in upstate New York. I can tell you
Saturday,
that.
I want to say the first 4 or 5 hours of the day was okay. By midday, I would say 4 holes in, it was overcast the rest of the time.
No rain, though, right?
No,
Yeah,
no rain.
Just gray.
Yeah, and it was supposed to rain yesterday. Never rained.
Just sprinkled a little, but not much.
No, I'll tell you, it was humid.
Yeah.
By the way, I got to give a shout out to Miss Kay's sister, Classic Loin, who is now Dr. Classic Loin, Doctor of Physical Therapy. That's why we were in upstate New York.
Burying the lead a little bit right now.
Wait.
Her nickname
what?
is Classic Loin?
Classic
Loin?
Loin. No, her name, and she has her family. They have a billion nicknames. They're Bean, Loin. Her name's Lauren, so I think like when maybe somebody was little,
Oh,
they couldn't
they
say
just-
Lauren, so they said Loin.
Loin. Yeah.
So Loin, and then Classic is I don't know if I threw that in there or not.
It feels like your move.
Classic Loin. Whenever she
I like
does
it.
Classic Loin. So now she's Dr. Classic.
Wow, that's nice. Good job at her.
Yeah, congratulations
Yeah.
on all your
Congrats.
successes.
Yeah, it's good. So we had a fun weekend up there. Great weather Saturday on the Finger Lakes, and then yesterday got a little overcast, a little bit of rain in the afternoon, but we had a great time. We had a euchre tournament that was set up. 12 people. You rotated partners every hand, and we had 3 different tables going. That was awesome. We did this cool Kentucky Derby game on Saturday, which was a lot of fun, and then. We had graduation, and it was great. And then I got up bright and early this morning. Miss Kay
Zoomed
and I
home.
zoomed through 3 states. New
Yeah,
York,
you do. You get that
Pennsylvania,
little
Ohio.
bit of PA,
Yeah,
don't
you get
you?
a little bit of PA through Erie, the great Erie, PA.
There you go.
Will there be a ticket? Was
No.
there nothing? You sure you weren't caught on a camera or anything?
I was passaging.
Oh.
She gets a little car sick, Miss K, so she likes to drive on road trips, and I'm like, great. I think it's the best. It's the best.
Are there strategically located superchargers, or
We took her car.
Took her.
So we don't have to
deal with it.
There is one in Erie Pa, though, right there where we went when we went to Niagara many years ago. We stopped at that one in Erie. But yeah, it's been a great weekend, great time. By the way, on the way to the graduation, Classic Loin was riding with her in-laws.
Okay.
Deer, kablamo, front of the car, wrecked.
Really? She almost didn't make it to graduation?
Almost didn't make it. Well,
The
deer,
car she was driving in?
she was passenging it, yeah. Out of nowhere. Like it zoomed out of like
that's how
some
it
bushes.
Yeah, they're dumb.
They don't know, dude. They're animals.
No,
Yeah,
no.
just
But
bouncing
they're
around.
especially dumb. I
So-
feel like there's something like during mating season they'll just walk right out into the middle of traffic.
So sadly, I think we lost a deer, and then
Lost the car.
Miss K. Well, the car's we need a whole new front end on that bad boy, and then but nobody was hurt, which is
Well, that's a win.
Win.
That's really what matters
And then
most.
and then Miss K had a shoe sacrificed to one of the dogs in the homestead over the
no.
weekend. Oh yeah.
Was it a prize shoe?
Yes. Yes.
Careful how you
Because
answer.
there's all
She might
sorts.
be
There
late.
are all sorts, but
you're
it
going to
wasn't like-
graduation. You could have a white tablecloth dinner. I mean,
Sure.
that could be a legitimate prized possession.
It was
a
an-
prize shoe.
it was-
or it could be like a flip flop or whatever
think
that you
it-
wear around.
I think that it would be like it was like an Ethan Posick. Like it is great.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
Reliable.
reliable,
This isn't
wonderful,
Myles
wears
Garrett.
it all the time. But
Yeah.
it wasn't the Myles Garrett.
It's not one of those where you're taking the dog out back and dealing with
Yeah.
it accordingly.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
So the best part was that we're sitting there, and all of a sudden we hear
Like
You
a
know,
woman's shoe.
we hear like, oh no,
overreaction on the dog.
for sure. Oh no, who has a green shoe? Nobody had a green shoe.
Yeah.
So it was like, nobody. Well, it had deconstructed the shoe so much that actually the padding underneath the shoe that you didn't ever see that was actually green because the rest of the shoe was gone. So it appeared as though it was a green shoe. So this shoe was good night, Irene.
Whose dog?
Kobe. It was in the family. All good.
All dogs are good.
Yeah, all good.
In that instance, is owner then responsible for replacing the shoe?
They certainly offered, and I don't know if they went as far as to do that. I think that
Well, you stay out of it because you're on the
I didn't.
periphery.
You're not
to
me, it was like no worries whatsoever.
It's all
you know?
good, yeah.
But
I think you got to offer.
SK, I think offer was 100% made. They handled
Like if this is an episode of
completely-
Curb, which quite frankly this could be an episode
Yeah.
of Curb.
Yes.
You would make the
They handled it with
correct thing
total
is to make
class.
the offer.
Yes, they handled it
not
with
to
total
laugh
class.
it off. I think anytime
No,
you do
they felt
damage
very bad.
or your animal does damage to somebody else's property or something, the correct play is
Let me
or
make
your
this
children.
right.
You know, there's sometimes a kid will wreck something.
Sure.
And they come over like nobody with any sort of sanity would accept
Sure.
a payback.
Sure.
But I think the offer is the minimum requirement. Like I
Yeah,
don't think
and
you
they
just
did.
laugh
They handled
off,
it
so
with
that's
they handled it with class. I don't know what ended up happening. It was kind of like, no, it's not a big deal, and then they're like, yeah, but what size are you? And I think she was like, yeah, I'm an 8.5. I was like, that's just all whatever ends up. We're fine.
It's all good.
whatever it is, it's all gonna
Right.
be good. But it was funny because then at one point she was like, boy, I just love those shoes. I wore them everywhere. And I was like, you're not making
Oh.
anybody feel any better right now.
So maybe it's more of a Batonio.
I think I assessed it.
You got it
fairly
correct?
well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, very good. What do we make of these dogs? We had dogs unveiled all
I
morning long.
love. There's one of them that I love.
Okay, before you give it, because you have this incredible ability to sway this fan base with just you're kind of like Mattress Mac. Did you see him at the Kentucky Derby?
With Mahomes? What
Yeah.
a moment.
Well, did you see him place the $1.2 million bet where it swung the odds?
No.
Okay, so they're live. You have the Mattress Mac effect. Mattress Mac, they're live at the Derby.
Yep.
Steve Kornacki, anything with numbers, they just throw him on. Him and his
And
khakis
Barry,
and his Oxford.
Matthew Barry was on for
Yeah,
the Kentucky
Barry all of
Derby.
a sudden is a craziness.
With a
They had
football.
everybody.
Yeah,
It's like
it was crazy.
I don't know if they just don't have enough people working at NBC because they had like Rebecca Lowe who does like their soccer. She was there, so she does like their Premier League. Anyway, so they come time. It's Derby time, and they're about an hour before post, and they have Mattress Mac. Kornacki's doing his stuff right with his boards, and behind him over his shoulder is Mattress Mac from Houston betting $1.2 million on one of the co-favorites, and live it switches from co-favorite to favorite.
Yeah, he went from
On his,
Yep.
he went to 4-1
Yep.
with the bet. So I think you have a Mattress Mac effect on our fan base.
I don't know.
So before
this
you
case
do
is
that,
subjective, I feel like, in this.
Yeah, well, this is totally subjective. What's interesting about these, so there's, if you haven't seen it, Cleveland Browns on Twitter, and I assume this is on all the social channels, loaded them up this morning with the 5 finalists for the dog.
I think it goes live. Voting goes live Wednesday.
I believe that's right. I believe
the
that's
case.
right.
So, there's about 1,010,000 ways you could go with this, because it depends on what you want. Like, are you going for? Let's remember a couple of things. One of the things, and it's something that our franchise is doing a pretty good job with because we have a lot of it, is we peddle in nostalgia.
We do.
Nostalgia is potent, man, in the words of Don Draper. So there's a power in it. The problem is the dog is not old.
Correct.
It's from the 80s.
That's right, from the dog pound.
It's the dog pound in the 80s. So that's really that era. For example, when I saw the very first one drop this morning, which I think it's one of the fan ones that was done. It's like the side profile one with like the Cleveland on the neck.
Yep.
So in that thread, I saw this one from Casey, and I thought the spirit of this I couldn't love anymore. Now, this is not one of the 5. This is just one that showed up. Now, to me, this looks like. Well, you tell me when you see it what this looks like to you.
Oh God, it's great.
Look at that thing.
That's fantastic. That's what you and I were looking for, one that had a full body.
Yes.
And then the one that I love got like no votes. The one that I absolutely loved. I thought was the coolest.
So, Gibby, did you see this one?
That's beautiful. That's
wow.
That's got it all.
I mean, that's a home run to me. Like everything that I would want.
Yeah.
That does it.
Who
checks
gave
all
that to you?
Nobody. It's in the comments. Some guy named Casey at @CBrownie_45. He tweeted the thing's unbelievable. It's perfect. It's from this is all subjective.
Totally.
This is kind of, like anytime people come to me or about bourbon or something like that, they're like, well, what should I get for this? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not your taste buds, man.
Yep.
I can tell you what I like, but it might not apply to you. So that one was amazing. So I think what you're trying.
That's like the Lions one that we like.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's a Cowboys one that's like that from that era. Like it feels like
the
it's
Colts one.
paratrooped in from like the 50s. Is what it feels like. If that's what you're going for, then that one has it.
Yep.
So then I think the other thing that's interesting is like, well, what type of dog represents? Like, are we a bulldog? Are we a mastiff? Like Swagger's a mastiff.
Yep.
But usually when you see dogs as mascots, they're bulldogs. But I don't know if that's just because we're used to them in college or what. We're definitely not a husky.
Well, because they're mostly
bulldogs. Yeah.
They are
there are a few others. There's the Terriers. There's Huskies that are out there.
The Terriers?
Boston.
The Boston
BU.
Terriers.
Yeah, there's a few. But mostly it's bulldogs is what you're dealing with. So, so I think that's the thing that's tricky is like, what do you want it to be? What best represents what you want the logo to be?
I want it to be something that – so you and I wanted the same type of a thing when we went through this. We wanted to see a full body of the dog in that vein of that Lions one or the Colts or as the old Cowboys. That was, I think – that was not really ever represented as kind of a possibility. It was always more focused, I think, on the head of a dog. And so now you've got some interesting options here with these. You have 3 straight on, 2 to the right. I think you have a mix of kind of throwbacky, cartoony, modern-y, cartoony, World War II-ish. You have the one that the fans submitted with the CLE on it that's pretty cool. That's kind of built, in my mind, off of a House Stark type of style.
Like a sigil.
Yeah. And then you've got another one straight on that I think is pretty cool, but we'll get to which ones we like in a second. But it's a neat thing. I mean, it's fun. There's not a whole lot going on. We've got guys out here, in phase 2. We're going to get the OTA soon, and that'll be a lot of fun. We'll have rookie minicamp later this week. But this is a fun thing to do this time of year. We'll have schedule later this week, which will be, I think people will find that to be a lot of fun. And I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying the discourse that it's generating too. Some obviously it's the internet. Some people are not as thrilled.
Yeah, you're not going to please everybody.
Others.
I think that they. Go ahead, Gibby.
Do the side dogs have a disadvantage in the fact that they are not? It's not the full front of the dog.
Most NFL mascots are sides, with the Eagles being the only one facing
the other way,
the opposite direction.
There's a few that are head-on. Raiders. I mean, there's a few out there, obviously, but
Bucks.
Yeah. but most of the time it is a side. It's interesting because obviously we mentioned everybody knows the history around here on it, but there is no dog image in the NFL.
Yep.
It's littered in college and high school sports, but there isn't any in the NFL. So there's a chance, I suppose, to have some ownership of that. The 5 that are here, you mentioned the side one with the CLE. I agree with you on the sigil. You and I call it the World War II one. I don't know, because we both saw that one independently, thought that.
Yeah.
That it kind of just
Like a
looked
World War II pilot to me.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about it, but it definitely looks like it. I don't know if it's like that orange part looks like those helmets that they wore when you'd go up against the
exactly.
Red Baron. I guess that's got to be
That feels like that could have been on the side of like a B-17
for sure.
in the
Agreed.
in that era.
Yeah. And then you have 3 front-facing dogs. So you have the one. If you're following along on Twitter, they have them all up. The one in the lower left is like the
You're using it off the 5
Yeah,
where
the 5.
the center is the sigil.
You got it.
Yep.
The
Off
one on the
tweet.
bottom left
Yep.
is the one that has the nostalgia feel to it to me the most.
Yep.
And then the top left is more of a it's got a little bit of that cartoonish, but also a little bit more stern. And then the final one is more of the final one's great. I mean, it looks like something the University of Georgia is what it looks like. The one in the bottom right corner, like it looks like that to me. It looks like something you'd see on a Georgia. My son's got a Georgia Bulldog football uniform. And it looks just like it.
I don't. So, are we going to get into what our tastes, our flavors?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. I do like the World War II one. That has been met with, I think, the most. People either love that one or I find that seems to be polarizing on Twitter. The World War II guy. I think though for me, my favorite one right now is by far the one that you just referenced. So bottom right of the 5.
Yeah.
That has now. I'd love to see an eyeball in there, but I'm fine with it not having it.
I'm almost okay with it. Yeah.
There's so much cool stuff in this. Did you see the explanation of a lot of the stuff?
No.
Okay, I got to find that tweet. But like, if you look in the right ear or the left ear, if you're looking at it on the left,
Oh, the state of Ohio.
State
in
of
the left
Ohio's
ear.
in there. There's like a Browns helmet kind of over his eyebrow on what would be his left eye looking at you, the right.
Oh
eye.
yeah.
Yep. There's the Guardian's bridge is kind of like his mouth.
Oh yeah.
And there's some cool stuff in there. And then the stadium is on the dog collar is the stadium, and the part that's white is the east end zone, which is where the dog pound actually is.
That's pretty good.
So it has, to me, a lot of stuff.
Checks a lot of boxes,
And it looks, as in the words of Joe Hayden, he said that logo goes hard. I think it would look great on a hat. I think it would look great on a hoodie. I think you got the stripe.
I think you put that sucker on midfield, to be quite
Yes.
honest. I mean, I think it has
like
that type of feel to it.
That logo, to me, feels like a home run. I love that one.
That one to me feels like a real. That's bottom right.
Bottom right.
That one to me feels like one that you could almost stand the test of time of owning the dog in professional football.
Yeah.
You know, where it would kind of go over, transcend this fan base. Like you could see it being something that people just buy.
Because it's yes,
it's really
and
good.
when you find all those little extra things in it, I think that adds to it a little bit. You don't have to have those things, but I do think it adds to it. And I just think that one looks like, dude, looks legit.
Yeah, and I think it probably does the most. The other ones are they're all. I mean, these people are elite. Like if you can do this.
Oh man, all of
this
these
is
are
crazy to be able to have the ability to do that, and there's things I like in all of them, but I think what you're going for is you have to picture something. It's not like artwork. You're not looking for it. Does that make sense? Like you're not looking for the best, dog or the most realistic dog or the most cartoon. What you're looking for is something that represents that can be duplicated over and over and over again and look cool on a lot of things and appeals to kids and adults. That's the other thing you're trying to do.
Yep. All right, here are the things that are in this one. Helmet stripe, a nod to the iconic feature. The logo features a center stripe that adorns the classic Browns helmet. The helmet, as I mentioned, over his eye. The original 1980s dog pound, the iconic maskless helmet, shell worn by Browns faithful at games, hidden in the top right. The Guardian bridge I mentioned. The spikes. The color features 8 spikes evoking intensity in their form and tradition in their number, with the Browns finishing champions 8 times in their history.
Yeah.
Inside of the collar, there's a guitar pick on the tag representing, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And then you've got the east end zone, which is where the dog pound is. You've got the nose. His nose is actually the shape of a football, if you look at it.
Oh, yeah.
And then in the ear, the state of Ohio. So I think that's pretty.
I love that guy.
Yeah, I think that one's. I like that one a lot. I think any of these could be great. I think that one would be, to me, that one's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
There are a lot of good ones, and I say really thank you to everybody that contributed to this. I think that it really was cool to see the fans get involved this way and to be able to, come through and contribute things to this process. And I think we ended up in a pretty good spot. I think you're going to be pretty happy with whatever the outcome is. But there are some that I like, and I think that guy on the right too, if with the bottom right, if we ended up going with that guy, I feel like could evolve.
Yeah.
That guy could evolve, I think, into a full-bodied one if you wanted to do something like what you had just shown and like take
put him
in something like that.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, there's a lot of possibility to it. They're good. They are all very, very good, and it is something that quite frankly, and if you're not from this area, I mean, I've told this story before. Like when my kids were little and they said, "What's a Brown? Why are we the Browns?" It's tough.
Tough. Yep.
Sure. I mean, it's tough. Like if you were starting an expansion franchise, you wouldn't pick these colors.
No.
You wouldn't pick this name. All of that makes it special, but there also is opportunity there, I think, with something like this that would, I think, appeal to people beyond even our fan base. We care most about our fan base, obviously, but just from the standpoint of like, man, that looks pretty cool on a lid. That looks pretty cool on a hoodie. That looks good on a T-shirt, like that type of stuff. Kids will
like
want to wear. That'll look
on a quarter zip.
Formidable.
Be a beaut.
Yeah, that's a formidable look. So
voting starts
fun.
Wednesday, May the 10th. And do we know when we'll announce a winner? It'll close in early June. So the voting on the final 5 logos will open Wednesday, and it will close in early June.
And then away we go.
Because then it'll be the summer, and before you know it, it will be training camp.
Don't do it. Don't rush me through my summer.
At the Greenbrier. I'm not rushing through anybody's summer. I don't want to rush anything.
First thing Peter King says, it's 11 weeks till training camp.
Stop it.
I'm like, all right. You know what? Just because you're off for 10 weeks after today.
And
right.
This is the problem.
Always takes
This is the problem, though, what you open the show with. Do we appreciate this good weather? Yeah, and then for people in our line of work, some of the nicest times in this area are August, September,
July.
Maybe into October.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah, evaporated.
Don't even know what that means.
September's the best month in this state.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
it's
a bold statement.
It's the best
Cotton.
weather month in the state. September is largely perfect. There's not much. It really isn't. I mean, it starts to cool off. The humidity from July is not there. That's blown through. There's no question. It's the best weather
elite.
month.
Yeah.
I mean, how many great high school football Fridays, Buckeye Saturdays, Brown Sundays in September?
Although we did have that one opener against
They're
the Steelers.
Well, you end up with the remnants
monsoon.
of a hurricane rolling
Right,
through,
right.
or a
You
nor'easter.
Barring natural disaster.
Sure. It's a
or
lovely
the
time.
remnants of natural disaster.
It's a lovely
about
time.
as good as it gets on that side of things. So that was fun. I love doing I like how they dropped it this morning. I thought it was cool, like every half hour having one drop. I thought that was a win across the board. The schedule is to be released on Thursday, but some talk it could be delayed. So we will have the details of that for you as we go along. Kyle Brandt from Good Morning Football and his quarterback tiers. We will get into that as the program goes along. Ziggy.
Zagee?
I said Ziggy. I meant to say Z.
And you said Zagee.
Ziggy.
Listen,
all right.
That's not bad.
Add it. The great Zagee. He'd be like
Great Ziggy. That's not bad.
Wasn't there was a David Suggy. Wasn't that a baseball player?
David Ziggy.
Yeah. David Suggy.
Yeah. Z goes one-on-one with Delpit. We have that to look forward to, which is very, very
Ziggy.
nice. I like Ziggy. It might work. And we'll see how all that goes. We're off and running here on a Monday edition. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. And Renew your home for the last time with Renew Home Exteriors Siding and Roofing Products. Bo here for the Renew Home Exteriors team. And don't spend all day with high-pressure sales guys. The team at Renew won't waste your day with hours of negotiating. Renew offers upfront, fair pricing to make your project easy. And this month you can take advantage of pre-pandemic pricing, plus no interest or payments for 24 months. Renew Home Exteriors, superior products, superior service. Visit renewestimate.com for more on that. Thursday is supposed to be the schedule release, but according to Peter King at Football Morning in America, the release of the schedule, which was the NFL was hoping would be a primetime show on Thursday, may be delayed. It's still likely to be done in time for the release on at 8 o'clock on Thursday, but King was told over the weekend it may not be finished in time. The 2023 mega games opening Thursday, Sunday, and Monday nights, Thanksgiving, the new Black Friday tilt, the Sunday night game on Christmas Eve, and Monday night tripleheader on Christmas are not set in stone yet. The mega games are usually sold by early May. The schedule crew is slated to meet with Commissioner Goodell in New York this afternoon, at which time more clarity on the tentpole games is expected. I'm told as of this weekend, the NFL was still in search of options on the 272-game regular season slate, with a series of computers continuing to spit out alternatives. I just would say that this all seems much ado about nothing. They're all going to be great games. You have an AFC with 10 teams that think they can win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, if all else fails, bet on them, bet on the Cowboys, bet on the Eagles, bet on the 49ers. Like, I don't know that this has to be that hard. There's not that much difference. You're the NFL. You've proven that it almost doesn't matter what game you show, you'll rate. There are some that are bigger raters than others, but there aren't that many gambles on this schedule. To me, I don't understand why this would be delayed.
I don't get it either. Thursday night, you've already teased it. You got to come with it. I think it'll be ready for Thursday. I think they'll figure it out. I mean,
yeah.
How many debates are there to have at this point?
Who's Thursday night will be Kansas City.
How is it not is it not allowed to be a repeat of the Super Bowl?
Well, do they have them on the schedule? Do they play the Eagles this year? Kansas City?
Hold, please.
In the past, I don't know if that's mattered.
Yes.
Well, yeah, you have to
have them on the schedule to
No,
play.
no. I mean,
yeah, you have to play them.
It's like what they do
yeah,
Wednesday
no,
night.
No, I knew where
they
you
could
were
just
going.
play anybody who's not on their schedule.
No.
It's like when you were telling me when I was watching it live that I was behind.
All right, here's the Chiefs' opponents in 2023. So they do play Philly at home. So they play the Broncos, the Chargers.
How is
Raiders,
that not
Bills,
week one?
Bengals, Dolphins, Bears, Lions, Eagles. The only way it wouldn't be week one is if you said we want Philly to anchor Sunday night. So you could easily go like Chiefs, Dolphins.
You've got Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, or Eagles.
Like
Bengals,
they'll want
the choices.
I'm guessing they'll want to hold Bengals and Bills until later in the year.
You could do
I
Chargers.
think the Bengals play the Chiefs too, don't
So
they?
you could do Chargers.
You could do Chargers.
Or you could do, I think you do Chargers or Dolphins. Tyreek Hill returning to Kansas City. There'd be a lot of juice to that. Mahomes theoretically healthy. That guarantees he's healthy. And then I would have Philly.
For Tua, yeah.
And I'd have Philly do the Sunday nighter with Philly. Because then you need a Monday night bomb too.
And isn't it a doubleheader?
I thought for Monday night on week one.
I feel like they're going back to that.
I don't know.
Yeah. But the second one, you can always play anybody in the West Coast.
Yep.
You just want that first game for Aikman and Buck to be good on Monday night.
Yep.
And then you need is there Sunday night football week one?
Yes.
There is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I couldn't remember if because in one
That used
years
to be
past,
Cowboys Giants like for
forever.
30
But
years
they used to have like if they played Thursday, they wouldn't run it back Sunday. Didn't they do that a little bit? Where if the Sunday night crew did the Thursday game, they wouldn't do the Sunday game? Or would they always do them both?
Hold on.
You
I'm
might be-
looking at last year.
It's Football Night in America is the first game.
Thursday.
It's Thursday is definitely
Definitely
NBC.
NBC,
Yes,
for sure.
100%.
But I couldn't remember if they get run back three
So
days later.
in 2022, there was Tampa Bay Dallas Sunday Night Football?
Yes.
It was.
Okay.
I know what.
Yeah.
Did they split crews one year where Michaels did the Thursday and then Tirico did Sunday?
Yeah, because Michael's was like, I'm not doing,
doing
two
two
of these,
games in
especially
48,
one on the
72
East
hours.
Coast.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the thing to
Yes.
pay attention to then. So they basically have and the other thing is that first America's game of the week, whether it's on Fox or CBS, you need one there.
I think the biggest thing that appears to be holding up some things, in addition to this week 1 scheduling mess, is the fact that in the past, when the Browns hosted an NFC team, the game was always on Fox.
Sure.
Yeah.
When the Browns went to an NFC stadium, it was on CBS.
Yeah.
And now it's just a free-for-all. With the new TV deal, you could have NFC versus NFC now on CBS.
Right.
And AFC versus AFC on Fox. So
is it a situation where we just like everything we liked when we were kids? But I find myself, like, that annoys me that that's going to be the case. It annoys me that CBS isn't AFC. And
Agreed.
Fox isn't
I
NBC.
agree.
Yes.
100%.
I don't like the cross-pollination.
No.
I like you guys be the experts on this group. You guys
What?
be the experts on this group. Every once in a while you cross over, but stay in your lane. I don't like.
And it's always based on the visiting team, right?
Correct.
When we were kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why that was a talking point or all you're doing is making more work for yourself by allowing this.
I hated it last year. There were a couple times when CBS would, I guess, cherry pick early, and so then the 4:25 game of the week, which is supposed to be a CBS game, somehow would end up on Fox, and it would be
Yes.
two AFC teams.
Yeah, I
hated that.
I don't
And
like
not
that
the NFC number 1 broadcasting team.
No.
Right.
Don't like it.
So, all right. So I'm glad I'm not alone in that.
No.
But it's
No,
possible we're
you're-
all just old.
Nope, fine.
No.
Get off my lawn.
This is one of your moments where you're the czar of sports and you have good ideas, and I support them.
Thank you. All right. Gibbing wants to know, what primetime games will we be up for? Well, the simplest answer is every divisional game. You'd have a chance.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Are we up for anything maybe except Sunday Night Football?
I think us and the Bengals on Sunday Night Football absolutely could be the thing. I think us and the Jets, Aaron Rodgers on Sunday Night Football could be a thing.
I could see us.
The other thing, by the way, that I am totally not for is the fact that now we can play multiple Thursday night games.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're 100% right that every single one of our divisional games could be in prime time, and that's true of every divisional matchup in our division this year. Period. Full
Yes.
stop.
Yep.
They all could be on. Prime
They all
time.
couldn't be
'Cause they'll
Sunday
get
Night
numbers.
Football.
No.
But they
No.
all could be Monday Night Football. They all could be Thursday Night Football.
You could put us on.
I think you hit it right with Sunday night. It almost only has to be Bengals. I don't know that there's. I could see Ravens.
They
flexed
put us
in.
and the Ravens on Sunday nights a few times, and us and the Steelers always will draw.
Those all feel like Monday night, Thursday nights.
I agree.
Yeah.
Us and the Jets, depending on when we play the Niners, depending on when that is and what the Niners are, that could be that's definitely could be prime time. And us and the Jags could be prime time, for crying out loud.
Oh yeah, I mean, us and the 49ers feels like Monday Night Football to me. Us and the Jaguars could absolutely be that. I think to me it feels. I don't know.
Road, I feel like it's division only.
Yeah,
Maybe
for sure.
Broncos. They could throw a Sean Payton on a
Monday night.
Monday or a Thursday.
That doesn't feel like Sunday.
No.
No.
Could it be a Monday night with Seattle?
Oh my God.
I hope not.
Oh, God, it would be
That
awful.
would be brutal.
That would be the
Awful,
worst.
awful. Unless there's a bye week following it.
Monday off
Yeah.
or Tuesday off.
At
If that was a
Ram-
Monday night.
Oh jeez.
Well, we did that with the Niners that year.
It was awful.
Yeah. Well, the game was awful. Everything up to the game was great. Game awful. Flight
I would
home,
disagree
horrific.
with that, too.
Yeah.
It was
Seahawks
all awful.
Seahawks on a Monday would be.
Mm.
That just puts you behind the 8 ball bigly.
Bigly.
Yeah. I think the only.
The only thing that would make sense is if the Seahawks were on a Monday and then we played like the Niners
Or ram it.
that Sunday.
It'd have to be ram it.
That wouldn't be as bad.
Because you play ram it out there.
Yeah.
So you could go.
Right, ram it.
You
You're
could
right. Sorry
fly
about ram it.
into Seattle on Saturday to play Monday
You'd
night.
probably fly in Sunday.
Sunday, yeah, because you play Monday night. Fly in Sunday to Seattle, and then stay on the West Coast Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Come on.
That'd be a long week. But then,
I for one though,
you guys get
It's
your
on-
frequent
it's
flyer
on
miles,
par
boys.
for what's coming
Holy
anyways.
cow!
I
Get
would
your
trade-
Marriott points going.
I would trade 2 of those West Coast flight home after games for 1. Those are flying home from the West Coast every game is the worst.
Yeah. Especially if we don't have a big play. not to be a snob, but when they cram us in like sardines,
Yeah, it's a long ways, man.
it's a long 4 or 5 hour flight.
Oh man, those flights are long.
Zagura, the moment that bell rings that we've reached our cruising altitude, that man is out of his seat for the next 2 hours. Like
This year, I'm in a better position than I was. I'm in a better position than I was at that time. But yeah, there was a while where we were like yeah, no way, not great.
I'm going to say my prediction is your initial thought. Bengals us is Sunday Night Football, and that's our only Sunday night.
See, I don't know. My
play them
thought
well.
is
It's a good game.
It's a good game. It's a good
I
story.
think you're gonna have more 4 o'clock games.
Jets, by the way.
I would say 2 Monday nighters and a Thursday nighter.
Jets is
and you got to show me something to get to Sunday night.
Jets
is what
has Sunday
NBC is
night
going to tell you.
Jets has a Sunday night.
I think we're going to – my guess is that they wade into us. I don't know if you'll see us in prime time in the first 4 weeks or so.
Which I would rather that be the case because
we're good
in the
on prime
past
time at home.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, based off of what we saw from Deshaun last year, if you're a television executive, like you'd kind of want to see it a little bit first.
Or you do it early.
Or you do it – well, you've got to bank on it, though.
But like last year, we were home. We were prime time week 3 and week 8 at home.
Thursday night against the Steelers and then Monday night
against the Bengals.
It's the only 2. Well, then we had a Saturday, but that was like a late day Saturday game. The Ravens, the second to last home game.
Oh right.
Yeah.
And
which
when was
I would assume
Christmas Eve. What was Christmas Eve?
Given it's a 1 o'clock.
Was that just a normal?
Yep, that was a normal.
But was it a Saturday or was it a Sunday?
We went back-to-back Saturdays.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
Christmas Eve was a
Eve
Saturday.
is a Saturday. Yeah.
I would bet money we'll be
Well, we
a
have
part of the
featured
NFL Network triple header again on a Saturday in December
Yeah.
because we by far rank higher than everybody else ratings-wise when they put us on.
We're a machine. We're a ratings machine. There's no doubt. I think we have to get.
We have a triple header on Christmas Day.
No, we
played
on Christmas.
I would
You
like
just did
to
it.
not be.
We
That
just
doesn't
did
mean
it.
we can't go again.
Yeah, you just
Yeah,
did
I think
it 2
so.
years
No,
ago.
I don't think. Yeah, no way. I think we're out of the running for that.
Ugh. From your mouth
So
to God's
Christmas
ears.
is on
Sunday
this year.
Mm-hmm.
No,
No, it's
Christmas
Monday.
Christmas Eve is Sunday. It's a Monday triple header
We're playing Monday. The NFL is playing 3 Monday games.
3
on Christmas.
triple header.
Oh, they're going right for the.
Take it, NBA.
Wow.
Yeah.
They'd never done that before.
And we get the Black Friday game this year for the first
There's
time.
a Black Friday game at 3 o'clock.
Oh gosh.
Thanksgiving night.
So you
Can
go
I
3
interest you?
Thanksgiving, a Black Friday game, and then Sunday, Monday.
If you're the NBA, do you have to reconsider your Christmas operation now that the NFL has done this? Well, the NFL isn't going to chase it into Tuesday though. Basically, the NFL will do it they'll do it on Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
That's it.
They won't chase it.
Correct.
Well, they could do it Friday. They could do it Friday.
They're not going to have a Tuesday game.
No, the only
You
ones they
give
can't
everybody
do,
if you give
they
them the
can't
bye
do-
week the week after.
You can't do
But it's
a
Christmas.
You can't do a
You can't have a
Tuesday
bye week after Christmas.
You can't do a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday triple header. I don't think. But
Thursday, maybe.
So really, just Tuesdays or Wednesday.
Tuesday
Other than that,
or Wednesday,
NBA,
yeah.
we're taking it.
Well, here's the truth of the matter.
It's wild.
A regular season NFL game is so much more important than a regular season NBA game. There's no way that they can't compete with each other. Watching the NBA playoffs right now, and I think it's been a pretty fun playoffs. You had like yesterday's game. I got to watch a little bit of the Suns and the Nuggets, which we can talk about the craziness that happened in that. But it was a great game. But these playoff series each series it feels like goes over the course of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So they're long, and this is all that matters.
Right.
The regular season, you have an 8 seed playing, you got a 6 and a 7 playing each other in in the Western Conference. Like just getting into the playoffs, the regular season doesn't matter at all.
No. I think the only thing the NFL that I'll be curious what the NFL does if they do anything is the dates are out for the first 2 years of the 12-team college football playoff, and in the first 2 years, college football is avoiding the NFL like the plague. Like they're playing Thursday nights, Friday nights, Monday nights. Like they're not messing around with the NFL at all. There is, however, in the first weekend, there is a triple header on a Saturday, which is like December 20th or something like that, December 21st. And I do wonder if college football would go to the NFL and say, hey, man, can you give us this?
It was the Saturday.
And in return, what you would say is we give you ready-made stars. We're the second most popular sport in this country. Give us this Saturday so that we can play this out.
I think the NFL will probably be fine because they only go to those Saturdays
I would
once
ask you
college
to play
football
on
stops
Friday
playing.
night.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they are. I mean, they're playing Thursday
Yeah.
night and Friday night already, but like there is the one Saturday where they kind of have to play, and in the first year of the playoff, they're going to play 3 games on that Saturday. Like to me, if you're Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the SEC, or this Petiti guy who's a new commissioner of the Big Ten, they're the power brokers in the sport. You just say, hey, can you give us this Saturday off? You guys just take this one off. If you're the NFL, if you're Goodell, I think you acquiesce to that because you're getting – I mean, Bryce Young is stars. Like you're not, and then all of that with NIL. This is honestly the best thing ever for the NFL because there's absolutely no threat to ever challenge the 3-year wait period thing because now these guys can all make money. So it's the best minor league system in the planet.
Oh, yeah.
College football is right now.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that they would probably acquiesce to that. It's not that big of an ask.
I don't think it's a big ask at all. I think it's a fine.
Yeah.
Don't ever put your stuff up against our playoff games.
Yeah.
Don't mess with any of that. And fine.
Yeah.
They're
They're
going
gonna
to
go
go in December.
Yeah.
So what?
So what? Have it. You're good. All right. Coming up next, our buddy Kyle Brandt last week did his AFC quarterback tiers. We will get into that a little bit. Coming up next, you listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet, coming soon to Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Elk & Elk Serious Lawyers, Serious Injuries. Call 1-800-ELK Ohio for a free case review. Elk & Elk is a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. We did the AFC quarterback tiers from Kyle Brandt last week on Good Morning Football. Today, let's do the NFC. Real quick before we do that, you mentioned the Matt Ishbia, the owner of the Suns, with Jokic. I cannot believe they teed up Jokic
Insane.
for this.
Insane.
It was a hell of a flop by the owner.
It was an incredible flop by Ishbia. So that was I just can't wrap my head around how they teed him up.
So
the ball goes, if you haven't seen this, the ball goes out of bounds along with the Suns player.
Yep.
Jokic is trying, and he does this all the time. He's trying to grab the ball quickly, get it to a referee. Referee gets it back to him. He's got a 5-on-4 for his team going the other way. Ishbia and one of the other guys grab the ball.
The owner of the Suns has the ball.
He grabs the ball.
Yes, he's holding the ball.
Holding the ball. Joker's trying to get it from him.
Out of his hand.
And he pushes.
He won't let
give
go
to
of
him.
it, and then finally he gets it out of there. Jokic gets it out and kind of gives him a little forearm shove.
Yeah.
And he goes down
Flops.
like he's been shot.
Yes.
Which is an incredible flop. And then one of his buddies, I'm guessing, comes in and just kind of pushes Jokic on the arm. That dude got run right out of the building. Yeah, can't touch him.
Outrageous.
It wasn't what he did though was not it literally was amounted to that.
Right.
But he got run out of there. The fact they teed up Jokic was crazy to me. The whole situation is nuts, and that's part of the NBA. You will have the ability to be closer to the athletes than any other sport, period.
No, there's nothing else like it.
No.
Where you can be there. Yeah. That's why if you've ever, and I know you have, if you ever have the opportunity to sit really good NBA seats, like feet on the wood NBA seats, that is the most stunning thing in sports that you can, especially if you get a team that's engaged.
Yes.
Because then you see the size and the speed that those athletes have. It's stunning.
It's nuts.
Yeah, it's absolutely
It
nuts.
is. But that was a
That's
wild
crazy.
situation. And then the owner, how do you pronounce it? Ishbia?
Ishbia, yeah.
He's tweeted, this was a great game. Let's not have any suspensions mar this. And I don't know if he's trying to say I shouldn't be suspended. I think he's trying to say Jokic shouldn't be suspended.
Right.
Which, no, he should not be suspended at all.
No. That dude shouldn't be allowed back on the court. Ishbia, if he was a fan, he wouldn't be allowed back on.
Well, you're not wrong. So Sir Charles said.
Hit the bricks.
If he was a fan.
If that is Mark Cuban, what happens to Cuban? Because they go after Cuban every time he says something. But if there was an altercation with Cuban, what does the league do?
Oh, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think if that was an average fan who had bought seats. Now, the ball does go there, and sometimes fans get the ball. But once, the ball's asked for by either a player. Now, look, he's on his home. Maybe he doesn't want him to get that 5-on-4.
Sure.
And the ball has gone into the stands. He's got the ball. If the official asks him, he obviously has to give it to him. But I think it's a little bit of a gray
played
area.
at Michigan State when they won the national championship.
With Meat Cleaves?
With Meat Cleaves. Meat Cleaves works for him.
Gross.
Out. In his mortgage business.
Go
He works for
Nuggets.
him. Yeah. Meat Cleaves and I think Charlie Bell. That whole backcourt, I think, works for him.
Charlie Bell didn't offend me.
No, Meat Cleaves was a tough watch. But, yeah, he played on those Michigan State teams.
So maybe he was doing a little strategery right there.
I'm just saying he would know the strategery of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Here's Kyle.
Like I've always said, let me pose this question. Let's say that we'll take this owner, for example.
Okay.
Owns an NFL team.
Yep.
They are in the Super Bowl, as are owners in the NFL of basically every team. Within the last 2 minutes of a game, they usually come down onto the sidelines to watch. If this guy feels to me like there's 25 seconds left, you're up 6. Guy breaks into the open field on the sideline. Like, remember Mike Tomlin almost thought about doing it?
Yep.
I could see Ishbia giving a trip. Hey, they get 15 yards, but they still have to score.
Still have to score, man. Whew. Yeah. Crazy. This is a crazy look.
It's yes.
Hopefully common sense prevails. And
that should happen to anybody.
By the way, that technical was a big technical. That game goes to overtime before the Suns end up winning a tight game.
True.
Like, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That point ends up being a very big deal.
Massive deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jokic
technical, rather.
Jokic is so fun to watch.
53. Can I interest you in that?
It feels like when he gets the ball at the high post, he's unstoppable. He's too big, long, strong, and just
too
knows how
smart
to finish.
And he's too smart. He can shoot it.
Listen, the Suns won because in big-time playoff games like that, stars have to play well. Booker played well. Durant played well. Jokic played well on the other side. But then you need like a guy like Shamet to make a couple big threes.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah.
And that's why they won.
I misspoke. The other one was the overtime game. That was Suns beat.
This
the Nuggets,
wasn't
but
overtime.
This wasn't
Yeah,
overtime.
no.
The other one was the overtime.
Was the
game.
Sixers Celtics.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Back to Kyle
More
Brandt's.
dramatic, though.
It was. Yeah. NFC. By the way, I didn't know that James Harden still had that in him.
He
240 pointers. So
he
far.
won game one for him.
He did. Yeah. He has Jalen Hurts in his own tier.
Agree.
I don't. I would
Okay.
not. I would give him some company on that level. I think Stafford belongs on that level. I think Dak is close to that level. I think Jalen Hurts is really, really good, but I also think he's in the perfect position. His situation is the best. His situation is tier 1. I'll do that. I'll play that game with you. That his situation is absolutely
I think
tier
Hurts is tier 1. I think Stafford is tier 2 alone.
1. So if you're telling me if Jalen Hurts and Matt Stafford were available on the free agent market to the
I
Dolphins,
like what you're doing here. Okay.
and you could pick one or the other, which one would you pick if you're Mike McDaniel?
Oh boy.
You know,
And
you'd
you're
pick
saying it's
Stafford.
just for this year? I don't know about that. Jalen Hurts was really, really good last year.
Really was.
And he adds an element to my offense that Matt Stafford does not add.
He does,
He-
but there
he
it's
has
a,
been
it's
good
also
for 1 year.
It's also a very specific way
Sure.
that they play, that the talent around them.
I just think watching what
Accentuates.
Mike McDaniel did with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle,
Right.
and if you all of a sudden had to account for
You're-
Jalen Hurts,
I think you know you'd take Stafford though if you're McDaniel.
I don't know. I'd have to see him throw
A
first.
healthy Stafford would be the pick.
So fine, they can be in their own tier.
Yeah, and I think I stand by it. I think Hurts's situation is tier 1. There's nobody who's in a bet. You could make an argument. There's not a quarterback in this league who is put in a better situation to succeed and take advantage of his skill sets than he is there. Now, will that be that case now that Steichen's gone?
Let me say
I
this.
don't know.
I think the Eagles' offense would be less scary with Matt Stafford than Jalen Hurts.
Okay, I don't disagree with that
Okay.
because there is the way that they do it. It needs his feet.
Right.
It
And I
needs
think
his feet.
McDaniel could kick some. Fine, they can be in their own tier. Stafford's won Super Bowl. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'm not fighting. I like Matt Stafford. I'm not fighting.
yeah.
Then I think they're tier 1. Tier 2 for me would be I think these guys
Dak's got to be almost Dak and Cousins on their own with Goff.
I kind of think Dak
Goff,
Cousins, Goff, Carr, and Geno Smith might all be the same to me. I mean, Dak's thrown 29 picks in his last 32
Yeah,
starts.
that's a lot.
And Kirk Cousins can have some awesome games and is really good, but like you don't think of Kirk Cousins as elite and a clutch meter guy. And Carr can have great numbers, Goff can have great numbers, and Geno Smith did last year.
Geno
I
Smith
kinda
had 1 year.
Yeah, but I'm saying based on where they are right now,
Yeah.
I like those 5 guys together. That's me.
I wouldn't mind Gino a rung below, like one rung, like show me a stack it,
Yes.
but it's really bad. I mean, then it just gets crazy.
And then-
like Fields has the most potential of everybody left, along with Bryce Young.
Bryce Young shouldn't be 7.
No, he
there's
should
no way
not be.
that he should be.
Bryce
below.
Young should be. He we have to see. Like you can't have him below.
and
I mean, this is pretty crazy.
Garrett Purdy. I like Garrett Purdy.
Yeah.
Garrett
Brock
Purdy.
Garrett Purdy. Yeah.
He should be.
Went to high school. I didn't make
You went to
Garrett
high
Purdy?
school with Garrett Purdy, and that's why he's in here.
That's why he's in here.
Okay.
Well, he would definitely
Brock,
be tier 8.
Brock
My
Purdy
bad.
has to be
My
up
bad.
higher than where he is. The guy was the best quarterback in the league for 8 games. Yes, it was 8 games, but his best 8 games are better than the
other
best
guy.
8 games of Justin Fields
Yeah, it's so hard.
or Daniel
That
Jones.
goes back
probably.
to then all of these though. I think folks, what you're hearing though is that so much of this in the NFC is predicated on position that you're put in. For example, like if Justin Fields played for the 49ers, there's no doubt in my mind that he would be electric.
Why didn't they want him?
I have no idea.
I'd love to get that.
But Kyle
truth serum
hasn't
overview.
exactly crushed it on identifying these guys. It's like the one blind spot.
But he gets Garoppolo and
No,
and he's
but like they're not what they intend to be when they get them.
sure.
You know, like
Well, Lance certainly has.
Lance
not been.
certainly hasn't been.
I mean, the truth is, in the NFC right now, Hurts and Stafford are the two best quarterbacks. Then after that, you've got a group: Dak, Cousins, Carr, Goff, Geno
Yeah.
Smith that could be good. Kyler, who knows if he's even going to play at all this year.
I'd redshirt
Danny
him.
Dimes, I don't get why he's that high, but took him to the playoffs, won a playoff game.
Yeah.
Maybe it's getting better. Fields has a lot of the potential.
And then it's just unknown.
Yeah.
Like Love, Desmond Ritter, Sam Howell, Bryce Young.
Baker, Purdy, or Trask.
Well, Baker's known. But like Bryce, I would imagine that Bryce would be like way up.
I'd put him in tier 4.
If you're
right now.
redrafting, like he would be way, way up there.
Yes.
And then I think Bryce Love, Desmond Ritter, and Sam Howell are. Sam Howell feels like the perfect quarterback to tank, but their defense is too good.
Yes.
God, this is brutal, isn't it? Can you imagine if we were in the AFC?
If
NFC.
we were in the
NFC rather?
Yeah, it'd be great.
You'd be the 2 seed if you're in the NFC.
There will be teams that do not make the playoffs in the AFC that would have been 2, 3, 4, or 5 seeds in the NFC
Yeah, that's nuts.
that don't make the playoffs.
That's right. Yeah. All right, coming up next, Z goes one-on-one with Dose, the double deuce.
Doses.
Doses.
Yeah.
Grant Delpit coming up next. Listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. There's a new way to cheer on your Cleveland Browns with the help of your favorite four-legged companion. Barking Backers, presented by Milkbone, the Browns' newest club for pet parents worldwide. Sign up today at barkingbackers.com. Barking Backers, the fan club for dogs. And now here's Z, one-on-one with Grant Delpit.
Joined now by Browns safety
Guys are down.
and Grant. First of all, great to see you, man. How's the offseason been? How you feeling?
It's been good, man. Good to be back. Good to see everybody in the building again. We're excited to start building this foundation for the year.
So you spend some time out in Cali. You come back to Cleveland. You get a couple days that look like Cali, 84, sunny, and then you get the snow immediately after that. You're like, what's the deal?
I got here on Sunday.
Oh, so you missed it all. You missed it.
Messed it all. When I got here, it was about 40 and snowing. So good old Cleveland weather. You can't complain.
Absolutely. So last year, as the season went on, it really started, it felt like, to click for you. You finished with 4 interceptions. You had, I think, 3 of them down the stretch, 2 of them in that game against Washington. What kind of really, for you, made you feel so comfortable to go out and play at such a high level last year?
I don't know if anything just individually clicked. I don't know. I think as far as the defense as a whole, we started playing a little better towards the end. Little mishaps here and there, but we need to start fast next year. That year's behind us, man. We gotta do everything in our power to start fast and win. So that's going to be our focus going into this year. Just start fast.
You got a new running buddy in the back end of this defense, Juan Thornhill. Have you guys gotten a chance to talk, and kind of what are your early impressions of him?
Yeah, we talk. Thing about us is we could both play each position. I know everybody says that a lot, but that's something that Coach Schwartz is stressing, and our Coach Banda and everybody that learn both positions. Like, it's not a free and a strong. They want us to, right now learn both so we could, be versatile in the season, disguise or whatever. We both know it. So yeah, we both have a lot of good skill sets, and we could be used in different ways. Like I'm watching the playoffs the other day. Damn man, Juan looked just like this dude that played. I thought Juan was out there playing basketball. We got so many we got so many skills. Bruce Brown or
Bruce Bowen?
Bruce somebody. He played for the Nets, I think.
Okay.
That dude just looked just like Juan, man. Y'all go check it out.
All right. We'll check that. We'll take a look for that. What's it like for you having new coaches? First time since you've been with the Browns. New coach in your room, new coach as well as for the defensive coordinator position with Jim Schwartz. You mentioned Coach Banda. What's kind of that been like for you, having new people, a new scheme, new leaders, all of that?
All the respect in the world for Coach Schwartz. We know his resume. We've been around the NFL for 30-some years, 20-some years, something like that. So, it's a great guy to learn under. Of course, he's had great success in the past years. He's got a lot of wins, Super Bowl rings. So, I can't wait to get out there on the field and start really, going through some things with him and picking his brain. And turn around, Coach Banda, he actually recruited me out of high school to go to University of Miami.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody knows that, but so I'm familiar. I've been familiar with him. I didn't end up going to Miami, but I loved everything about him as a coach.
Yeah.
But it's good to have those guys around.
Was that wild then when you saw that that's who the new safeties coach was? You're like, he recruited me in high school.
Yeah. I'm like, I know this guy. But it was just good to see kind of come together a little bit. Introduction in high school and come back in league is good to see.
What's it kind of been like getting everybody back? That you look around, there's no doubt this is a talented team. I know that you said we got to come out and win, we got to start fast, because last year didn't go the way that anybody wanted to. Now, there were different circumstances last year. Those circumstances are gone. Deshaun is here. Clearly, he is the leader. He is going to start week 1, all of that. What's kind of the vibe that you sense from guys, even though it's only April and it's not September, we're not about to play a game, but do you sense that there is like a purpose or a sense of urgency amongst everybody?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's a sense of urgency. I want that bold, man. I know that I'm gonna go in every day with that mentality. I want to know what that feels like. So I know that I'm gonna feed off that energy. I know other guys have that energy. So everything we do right now is for that reason. And I can't speak for the whole team, but for our secondary, we locked in. We locked in right now. I wouldn't trade those guys for anybody in the league. And as a whole defense, we'll come together as we start working and gelling together as a group. It's on our third day. So, we're going to get there, man. We're going to get there.
You mentioned the Super Bowl. What's it like to have a guy, though, Juan, who's been there? He's won it. He knows what it takes, right? He knows exactly what it takes from a team standpoint, from a commitment standpoint, from an execution standpoint to do it. Like, he can say, this is how it's got to be. Is that helpful to have kind of in your room now?
Yeah, that's Man, we need that. We need it. I think he played 4 years in Kansas City, and I think the
3, yeah.
yeah, the worst he ever did was make to the AFC Championship.
That's right.
You know, like it's crazy. You know, so he definitely knows what it takes, man. He knows what it takes, and it's good to have somebody like that in your room, and running partner in mind. So you know, it's gonna be good for us.
All right. Draft obviously is an exciting time for everybody, and for you got to fulfill your dream when you were drafted in the second round, which it's, by the way, it's crazy that was 4 years ago now, right? It's wild. It is wild to think about. I guess it would be 3 entering your 4th season. Nonetheless, what was that whole experience like for you? I know that you probably and justifiably felt like you should have gone earlier, but going through that and remembering that draft night and when your name is called and it's official, you're going to play in the National Football League. What was that like for you?
I mean, of course, I was thinking I was going to go first.
I'm happy you're here, by the way.
When day 2 came around, I had no idea where I was going. So I was just waiting for that phone call, Cleveland call, and I was on my way. But, for the guys, I don't know if anybody be listening to this, don't pay attention to the scouts and the mock draft and all that. Like, it means nothing, man. Once you get here, once you get to the league, that's when business starts. You could be drafted 1st to 7th round. It don't matter, man. Free agent, whatever. You come here with the same mentality. You feed off of the vet guys in the room, you're going to be just fine. So I can't wait for those rookies to get in so we can take them, under our wing and show them what's up.
What do you think of your journey, though? You mentioned that, right? You got through the ankle, lead your team to national championship, go in the second round. Achilles happens, I was like early in training camp, if I'm not mistaken. Missed that whole year. You come back, and now here you are in the last year of your rookie deal, a leader on this team, coming off of a very, very successful 3rd season. Like, is it wild to you how quickly it's gone and probably how long the journey's also seemed as well?
Yeah, man. I've only had 2 years of playing under my belt. Last year was average to me, to be honest. I could do, way more, way better.
30-30.
What do you want to improve specifically?
We start off the year, everybody knows we have miscommunication in the secondary. We gave up games that we shouldn't give up, stuff like that. We got to tighten that up ASAP. So I can't wait for this next year, man. Year 4 doesn't feel like it, but we're going in headstrong, and can't wait to get it started.
Well, we can't wait to see you out there. Thank you so much for the time, and obviously, I know you're going to ball this year. It's going to be a lot of fun to see you out there, Grant.
Can't wait. Appreciate it.
You're up.
All right, good stuff out of Z and the Double Deuce on that. Coming up next, we go around the league. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet, coming soon to Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
We're here for
Part of one of the most passionate fan bases in the league. Join our season ticket member waitlist today for the best chance of securing tickets for all home games in future seasons. Don't miss out. Go to clevelandbrowns.com/tickets or call 440-891-5050 to reserve your spot today. As we go around the league, Mekhi Becton has his fifth-year option declined by the Jets. Says he's a left tackle. Head coach Robert Saleh's comment, go earn the left tackle. Saleh said. That's via the New York Daily News.
So basically, Saleh had said something about there will be a competition at left tackle and right tackle. And Mekhi Becton then tweeted out, I am a left tackle, in all caps, and then deleted the tweet.
Of course he did.
Well, Coach Saleh got asked about it, and
go earn it.
He is not a man that mixes words.
So has Becton not been good? Obviously not.
I think he's
missed
been injured.
Yeah, the last 2 years. I don't even know how many games he's actually played in.
Was he the second one of that group taken? Was it Thomas first?
He was 11th. So it went.
He was third.
It went Andrew Thomas, Wills,
Becton,
Wirfs. So last year he did not play at all, and he played one game in 2021. So he's played 15 games in his career.
Yeah, there's a reason why your fifth-year option wasn't picked up, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. So he hasn't played since 2020?
Yeah. Basically.
Just all injuries?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hasn't played in 2 seasons.
Right.
Not great.
So he played the opener.
Well, and the Jets wanted to draft Broderick Jones, remember?
Yeah.
The Steelers jumped up ahead of them, and the only reason that the Steelers were able to get to 14 ahead of them
Isn't that funny?
Was because of the trade for Rodgers. They went from 13 to 15. And because, I don't know if you heard this, that Belichick made the trade and asked for less than normal compensation just to stick it to the Jets.
I didn't know that, but when we did the show, I think the Monday after the draft, I'm like, this is a Belichick spite store.
Totally. Yeah.
And that's what it was. He opened up a spite store. I would never have guessed that Becton has not played really since 2020. Played the first game of 21 and has not played in 2 years.
And Andrew Thomas hasn't been great either.
No, he has been.
He had.
Thomas has been
last year, yes.
Thomas was all pro, I think, last year.
He had a good year last year, but the first couple of years were a little rocky.
His rookie year was rocky, and then it got pretty good pretty quickly. Yes.
I wanted to say Andrew Thomas was an all-pro or a.
Was he injured his first year?
Yeah, he was second team all-pro last year.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. So he's come around.
So he's come around. Yeah, and Becton's been all-pro, or not Becton. Wirfs has been all-pro.
Well, yeah.
He's been the best of the lot to this point. But yes, Thomas did start slow, but he's gone now and going big. Zach Ertz saying he was nearly traded to the Bills in 2021. Ertz said that someone on Philly's side of the equation nixed the deal with Buffalo. Ertz wouldn't disclose the person who put the kibosh on the deal. The Eagles ultimately sent Ertz to the Cardinals for a fifth-round pick and cornerback Tay Gowan. So there you go.
Well, they feel like in Dalton Kincaid, they probably got their guy that would have been like a Zach Ertz for the Bills. If I'm Zach Ertz, he probably wished that had gone through. Although he has gotten to live in Arizona. He's been very productive down there. Yeah.
That's absolutely a win on that side of things. One more here. Stiff Arm Steve signs with the Bears.
Good for him.
Good for Stevie.
Good for Steve, yeah. Fine man. The guy who does everything the right way. Once recovered an onside kick that helped seal a win for us.
Yep.
With his lower extremities. And I have a lot of respect for that.
Did you guys see the story out of Indianapolis on Andrew Luck?
And the Washington Commies?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Juicy.
Well, and when you get Irsay tweeting, what more do you want?
So, for those just catching up, and this one is, anytime Luck comes up, it's near and dear to my heart because you guys were over there.
We were there.
That was my first year, right? Was that 19?
Yeah.
Baker's rookie year. I think at that point I was still filling in a little bit. I don't know if because I think the first show we did is like the official new CBD was game week, wasn't it?
No, but your first season was 18.
Yeah.
So that was, that's right. So it was 19, Baker's second year when we were over there.
Yep.
Okay, so
Yeah,
second
Freddie
year.
was the coach.
Yeah, because
Yes.
I thought, I remember doing those shows.
And McAfee was set up next to us on like a
Right.
folding table.
I remember seeing your guys' setup over there. Okay, so you guys were over there. All right, I had my years mixed up. So anytime luck comes up, it's something I pay attention to because I remember how chaotic that was, that game. It wasn't a Saturday afternoon game, oddly.
It was the game, but the whole week of practices, he was there. Like
He was there.
Peyton came out one day.
It
There
was
like
a
Peyton
who's
and
who.
Luck and and we obviously, our ownership group knows Peyton, and so there was everybody was all around, and
Ballard and
Dorsey were boys, and
Just palling it out.
Jacoby
Yep.
Jacoby was their quarterback.
Yeah.
Field
At
three's the middle
at the
one,
moment.
Dorse. Field three's the middle one,
Yeah.
Dorse.
And they also had maybe P.J. Walker was also there. Definitely Jacoby Brissett. But anyway,
I don't.
Anyway,
And
so
then
we
it-
go
it
through
was
this
a,
week.
It was a sweet.
There was
setup.
nothing all week long. There was no hint of this.
No.
There was
He
a
had
little.
been hurt, and it was
yeah.
like, when's he going to practice?
Exactly.
But there was no thought. And
no,
then
Ballard was talking about it.
in real time during that game, which if memory serves, was like an awkward Saturday afternoon preseason game.
It's 3:00.
Okay, I knew it was a weird one.
It was P.J. Walker. P.J. Walker, the
It's
two
a hell of a
quarterbacks.
pull by you.
Good job out of you. So,
We were busy fighting our way through 2 days. Of
Yeah.
joint
Z,
practice.
you were on the field for that preseason game,
I
obviously. At
was.
that time, you're still doing sidelines.
Yep.
Do you remember, how did you hear about it?
I was.
I feel like I was texting with you about it
yes.
when you were there, but
you
I
did,
can't
but
remember.
didn't it come out like in the? Was it right in the pregame or was it right in
It
the
was
first quarter?
during the game
It was
because Luck
early in the
walked
game.
off,
Yeah.
and like there was like murmurs around the crowd. Did you what do you remember of that?
You did text me. So I was trying to remember if it happened while I was on TV pregame or if it happened during the game. And you're saying during the game. So
I think
yeah,
it was during the game.
Yeah, because we didn't talk about it on pregame.
no.
We had no.
And
No,
then
Luck was out on the field.
He was
Correct.
there, and he walks into the tunnel,
Correct.
and there was you could hear kind of blah 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 blah. blah.
Everything that went down was really post game.
No,
they
but it
brought
came
him
out.
in.
It
came out
during.
during.
The game.
Correct, but
it-
like he
remember,
had this.
somebody got it. Somehow it got out,
He had
But
this,
it got out without him knowing it had gotten
Yeah.
out,
Correct.
and then
or
they're
having
like, oh
any
my God.
intent of it getting out.
Correct, and then that's when he had to go back in.
They had to do the hurry up press conference. Awkward.
Yeah.
And by that point, we were all just like, we need to leave.
We're like, get us out of
Like
Indy.
we have been here for 6 days.
Yeah, it's
And
enough.
we practiced out at that complex
Yes.
that was 30.
30. It was a
plus-
solid 30.
Yeah.
Everybody just hopped in my SUV every day that I
Yeah.
drove to Indy, and that's how we got
Me,
there.
you, and
back.
Donovan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Anyway, so the only time we've heard from Andrew Luck since was I think Seth Wickersham did a story
Did the
like
one
last
interview.
year on
Yes.
ESPN
Yep. Uh-huh.
that is as long as War and Peace.
Yep.
Right? It's 3,000 words.
Yep.
And so it's this full thing about his life is basically going fishing with his kids and driving them to school, and he drives by the facility, lives in Indy, all this stuff. Well, John Keim, who we've had on, good Buckeye, he reported over the weekend that Washington last offseason, if I'm reading it correctly, reached out to someone with Luck or his camp,
Somebody like an acquaintance.
right,
of
to
Luck's.
gauge his interest in playing football again. To which today Irsay goes, anybody who's reaching out to Andrew Luck
Or
is
an
a
associate.
or an associate is a violation of tampering.
Yep.
What did you make of all this?
So I'm going to go back to this year's draft, and that the charge of tampering against the Arizona Cardinals.
That's right.
For tampering with John Gannon while a member of the Eagles was settled between the two teams with the exchange of a draft pick.
That's right. Yep.
I'm guessing this story comes out. Jim Irsay says, I bet I could get us a third-round pick
I'd like to have a pick.
if I make a stink about this. Apparently there's precedent now where teams can settle tampering grievances between themselves in exchange for draft compensation. So I'm going to bring as much attention to this as quickly as possible. Let's talk about this, and then let me get a pick for the 2024 NFL Draft. That's what I think this is. And by the way, it's exactly what he should be doing.
Yeah. Pretty savvy
Very savvy.
for old Jim.
And if it's
As
true,
long as he doesn't tweet again, hey, maybe I'll use that pick on a quarterback.
if it's true, it's wild.
Yeah.
I do think you need to ascertain, was this actually an organizational directive
Yeah.
of the commies, or was this somebody just shooting the breeze with somebody that they had a relationship with?
Yeah. Hey, do you think Andrew would ever want to play again?
Right.
Yeah.
But if I'm Irsay, yeah, you're going to have to throw me a compensatory pick for this.
Yeah. Do you think that I think sometimes with athletes, like we want every bit of juice squeezed out of them, but we also want it on our terms. What I mean by that is, like, I think most people think Jordan went out hitting the shot over Byron Russell and think that that's the end of Michael Jordan, when in fact he played 2 years with Washington. So, like, we want them to play until they can't, to our standard as fans, and then we want them to retire in our uniform. Like, that's the hope. And I think with Luck, it's just possible that he didn't love football anymore and was sick of it. Because
a pounding.
he took a beating, pummeling. He used to run. They didn't protect him much. There's a clip going around of NFL films of him like being so nice, like congratulating defenders on hits on him. Like, he got smoked a lot in the open field, and it obviously took its toll. Rehabs took its toll, all of it. He's like, you know what? I'm done. He is still only 33 years of age.
Oh, yeah.
So he shut it down at 29.
He'd be in his prime. And it's different. There are people who are still Barry Sanders, just kind of walked away from the game in his prime. This was a different thing where he was, in many ways forced up. I don't know if people remember, he was going like to Europe to get crazy blood.
Oh, yeah.
Platelet transfusion. So he plays 12, 13, 14, gets hurt in 15, plays 7 games, comes back in 16, was very, very good, then misses all of 17.
Yeah.
Then plays all of 18, completes 67% of his passes, 4,600 yards, 39 touchdowns, 15 picks, and then walked away in 19. And then you mentioned the running. 18, he toned it down. 18, he ran for 148 yards, no touchdowns. Early in his career, he was running for 350 and 4, 250 and 5, 341 and 2. I mean, he was running quite a bit. And then you go back to the sack numbers. He had a couple of years where he got sacked 40-plus times. Now, 2018 only sacked 18 times. Sack percentage was the best in the NFL. 2.7% of his dropbacks resulted in sacks. That was best in the league. His career, though, is 5%. The year before that, it was 7%. So he definitely took some hits. Incredible quarterback. I mean, 2014, 4,761 yards, 40 touchdowns, 16 picks.
Jeez. His 2018 at age 29 led you to believe that the AFC would run through him for the next decade. That it would be him and somebody. Him and Mahomes, him and somebody is how the AFC was going to look.
Yep.
That would be the case. And the crazy thing is they had everything around it. By the time he quit, they actually had a pretty good offensive line.
Yep.
He had a pretty decent team around him.
Yeah.
By the time he finally left. But, yeah, it's wild. I just think it's wild, too, that he, continues to live in Indy.
That he never went back
To
west.
Texas or Northern California. I mean, he went to school at Stanford. He grew up in Texas. He was transient, though. I mean, his dad was Oliver Luck. He had a bunch of different jobs in all sorts of arenas, always in sports, but pretty transient upbringing. But still, it's just amazing to me that you drive by that facility. Maybe it's the only home that he's ever really known was Indy. It's hard to say. It's one of the great. It'll end up being one of the great what if things. Will be him. There will be a
30 for 30 would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, if it's interesting, but honestly, Gibby, I guess that's my point. Maybe it's not.
Maybe it's not.
Maybe he's just I didn't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
I got beat.
Yep.
Consistently.
Yeah.
And I'm good.
I knew I proved to myself I could come back. I could do it at a high level, and
I'll go out on a good note. I don't want to rehab again.
That's it.
I'm out. So, we mentioned Football Morning in America. Peter King with his tiers of NFL teams. Or is this NFC? No, it's everybody.
Everybody. It's his final offseason power rankings before he
rankings.
goes into vacation.
All right,
mode.
very good. All right, we'll hit those coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, Rumpke Waste Recycling, the recycling leader in Cleveland, family-owned and operated, that knows how to take care of your waste responsibly, whether you're a resident or a business. Learn more visiting rumpke.com. Time for a little thing or not a thing. And in this instance, we're going to take a look at Peter King's post-draft off-season power rankings. Hello, Gibbe.
Hi, gentlemen.
How are you, buddy?
I'm good, thank you. So Peter King
All right.
today has 7 categories for the 32 NFL teams.
7?
Yes.
Okay.
From can't find a weakness to they've got Super Bowl vibes to they're on the border
Okay.
to if all goes right,
All right.
they've got holes to under construction to wait till 2025.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. All right.
So instead of a little higher or lower, we'll go thing or not a thing.
I like it. I like
Love it.
Thing or not a thing here. Number one, he only has one team down for the top category, which is can't find a weakness.
Okay.
And that is the Philadelphia Eagles. Bo Bishop, I will ask you, thing or not a thing?
I think it's
A
I'm
little
trying the right
different
way
on
to
the
frame
highs,
it.
yes.
I think it's. I think that there's a little overvaluing of Philly. I think from the standpoint of, based on the fact that they're in the NFC. Like, if Philly were in the AFC, they would not be as unimpeachable. They are in the NFC, so they have an easier path. I understand that. And I understand that what I just said is a little bit contradictory because it's very likely they'll play in the Super Bowl. But I also don't think that they're a team that is without holes, can't find a weakness. I don't know. I now that we have a book on Jalen Hurts and that operation,
Yep.
I'd like to see if he can stack a year throwing the football when teams know he's going to throw the football. I'm interested in that. They've got a ton of weapons, a ton. They've drafted really well. Their defense is stunning. But it does still come back to a little bit of, I mean, let's remember, Lamar Jackson was a unanimous MVP of this league. Okay?
Yeah.
Unanimous MVP of this league. His year was better than Hurts' year last year. Lamar hasn't gotten back quite to that level. He's still been great. So can Hurts continue to evolve as a passer and get better based on what he's been? So to me, they're not. I don't think Philly should be in its own category.
Not a thing. Zagura.
I think when you look at their roster, what is the hole on their roster? Offensively, it's not at wide receiver. It's not at tight end. Now with DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny to go with Gainwell and Boston Scott, I don't think it's at running back. Hurts is great. Their offensive line's got Maliata, Lane Johnson, Kelsey. They drafted Landon Dickerson in the second round. Cam Jurgens, the guy they got last year in the second round. Now they're starters because they were able to move on. So their line is elite. Offensively, they're without a flaw. They have the best defensive front in the league, and they're 7 deep along the defensive line of 7, like, dudes. They've got Bradbury and Slay at corners. They got Nakobe Dean. They've got good linebackers. If there's a question, I guess the question is who is, they got Terrell Edmonds at strong safety. They lost Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. So who's the free safety? Can they get somebody to play at a high level there? They drafted a third-round safety as well this year. I mean, they do feel pretty loaded. I mean, I think they are the best and most complete roster in the NFL. So in that case, in that sense, I think that they have the best roster. Your point is, is Jalen Hurts ready to be in a Super Bowl 2 years in a row? Can he stack it together?
Get
And
better?
that's what we'll find out. But I think overall, though, I do think they have the best top-to-bottom roster in the NFL. And I don't know that it's particularly close.
Onward we go to they've got Super Bowl vibes. He's got 4 teams. We're going to talk about 1.
There's a lot more than 4.
Kansas City 2, Cincy 3, the 49ers, number 4, and number 5 is Buffalo. He's got the 49ers at number 4 in that category. Zagura, thing or not a thing?
Outside of quarterback, they're also amongst the most complete teams in the National Football League. Their defense, which was dominant, got better. Their skill group with Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and Christian McCaffrey is elite. They've got a solid line. They've got one of the best play callers and designers in the NFL. they're really, really good. But can he pull off the magic again with a guy like Brock Purdy or with a Sam Darnold in this case or with Trey Lance? I just don't know the answer to that. So it's hard for me to take them more seriously than teams that have quarterbacks, but it feels like when they get just somebody to play the season for them at quarterback, even if it's a variety of people, they go to the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl. I mean, they are pretty consistently good.
Bishop.
Yeah, I think that San Francisco, again, I got to look at this through an NFC perspective. The path is there for them. They've proven what they can do with quarterbacks who are less talented. They will have Darnold, Purdy, Lance, one of those guys. It's funny, like I was reading something over the weekend from the Bay Area about how like there's a lot of like chatter around Darnold. That like
people love
his
Well, didn't Kyle like him?
his physical gifts are so much better than Purdy's and others, and Garoppolo's, and that if Kyle can get his hands on him and put him in the best position,
he could be really good. I thought that was a good savvy pickup by them.
Yeah, that there's actually a little bit more to that. So, I mean, to me, I would probably have them right in this vicinity. So I'm going to say that it's a thing that they are where they are. I think it's justified. I don't think they deserve to be better than Cincinnati and Kansas City, but I don't have a problem with them where they are. I think it's appropriate.
Prior to getting to the NFC Championship game last year, they had won 12 in a row, 9 by double digits.
Correct.
It's not easy to win by double digits in the NFL.
No. But it helps when you have a great defense.
No doubt. They didn't give up a point in the second half for like a month.
Yep. On to
and
his.
They added Javon Hargrave.
Yeah.
Like they got better.
His next category, they're on the border. And that would be 5 teams. Detroit, Baltimore, Miami, the Jets, Dallas. We'll start at number 6 with the Detroit Lions, Bishop.
It's too much.
It's
we're
not crowning them too early.
Yeah, it's too much. It's not a thing. They're not ready to go from – I mean, I think the loss to Swift is real. I know that they signed nice players, but they had a nice – are those guys going to be astronomically better? Are Gibbs and Montgomery going to be astronomically better than Swift and Williams, which is 16.08, 4.5, and 22 touchdowns?
And Swift led the league in yards per touch.
I just think it's too much too
idiots.
soon. I think what's happening a little bit with a lot of the NFL national writers is that they are trying to justify the NFC so that it's a more interesting thing, and they're really overstating the NFC.
Yeah.
Detroit should be way back.
3 of the top 6 teams are not in the NFC.
No,
not a thing.
Neither are 4 of the top 10. Not a thing at all. I think he's got this one wrong. It's a real overvalue.
Yep.
All right, Zagura, we'll go to you for the next one, and that would be the Dallas Cowboys at number 10 in this category. Thing or not a thing?
I'm like you, Missouri. Show me. I mean, the Cowboys every year they have stars, they have names that you know, and then they just never get it done. They never get it done in the playoffs. I don't know what it is. They just.
What was your stat you just had on Dak? Wasn't it
29
picks in his last 32 games?
His last 32 starts.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's an over. I think not a thing. That's an overvalue.
All right.
By the way, like I'm surprised him of all people. I feel like people are not giving the Jets enough juice.
I agree. Yes, the Jets.
They crowned him before he even got there.
Right.
But
now that he's there, they dropped him.
Now they're uncrowning him.
Wait a second. Like I keep saying, like to me that this feels like Manning to the Broncos is what it feels like to me. I'm not saying it's as navigable because the AFC is tougher now than it was then, but
sure.
To me it feels like that type of immediate impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that the stat they would have if they scored 24 points in every game last year, they would have gone 14-3.
Right.
And I think Aaron Rodgers is going to help them score.
They were 7-4 before they lost their last 6.
Yep.
Last year.
Yep.
Next category for him, if all goes right. Number 11, the G-Men. Number 12, Seattle. 13, Jacksonville. 14, Minnesota. 15, the Chargers. 16, the Pukers.
Why are the Chargers at 15?
And 17, the Cleveland Browns. And at 18, the Tennessee Titans.
Okay,
we'll start with the Browns first at number 17.
This makes me – and I love Peter King. He is the most influential writer of my life in football. I love him. This group of teams is the most not a thing group. It makes me question if he's a thing. Come on, Pete. What are we doing?
Getting ready for year 40.
Have Tennessee in the same league as us and the Chargers are way
Jacksonville, Seattle, the
Jacksonville,
Giants.
Seattle. Like it's just not right at all. So I really don't understand the thinking here at all in this entire group of teams.
And he says and his comment on them is it feels like the Titans are a slow start from Will Levis playing by November 1st and selling Derrick Henry by the trade deadline. Well,
so
yeah,
that's
'cause
not
you're
if
not
all
a
thing
serious
go right.
team. Nothing. There isn't.
That would be wrong.
They've
Then that
already
would mean
had
they have holes.
They've
Right.
already had everything go right,
Yes.
And
and
didn't
it's
work.
not good enough.
It's not good enough. No. I do think there's only in this group. There's only one team that has a ceiling like ours, and it's the Chargers.
By the way,
But that's
yes, and I would add another team that he's got at 23rd. Denver should be in the if it all goes right. If Sean Payton makes Russell Wilson look
Yeah.
like Russell Wilson again,
everything else they check.
they've
every other
got it
box.
all. He's got them at 23rd.
He's got New Orleans behind Atlanta.
Behind Atlanta, behind Green Bay with Jordan, behind New England.
Weird.
Atlanta might be worthy of 22 if they had a quarterback.
Yeah. That's an interesting. That's interesting what he did here. This makes
Yeah.
me feel like this whole list is not a thing.
Yeah. So,
And again, I love him.
yeah.
He's my all-time favorite.
So
Did you see his comment on Atlanta too?
yeah.
Imagine trying to defend Cordero Patterson and Jonnu Smith, big man receiver Drake London. He doesn't even mention Kyle Pitts, and elusive Bijan Robinson in the slot with 1,000-yard rusher Tyler Algier as a sledgehammer alternative. Okay, but can you throw it?
yeah, I think I'll be just fine. I'll put 10 in the box and say we dare you.
Go ahead.
Desmond Ridder.
Yeah. Go ahead and beat us.
And maybe he does.
So there's only one team in wait till 2025 Arizona, but the second to last tier is under construction. Give me your best team out of this group. Carolina, Indy, Washington, Rams,
It's the Rams.
Bears, Houston,
It's
Tampa
the Rams.
Bay.
It's the Rams. Right now, they still have those people. Like, they should be more like if all goes right. They still have Stafford. They still have Kupp. They still have Donald.
Yeah,
They
maybe
still
you
got
put
some
them in, they've
guys.
got holes.
But I think
They're in a bad division. Like,
they're better than New England. Would
They're-
you say
I
they got
feel
more
like they're
power,
at
best-
star power than
they're
New
at
England?
best the third team in their division, though.
I could see them close to Seattle. I could see them being right there with
If-
Seattle.
If Gino,
If it all goes well, that
Yeah.
was one of his
By the way,
categories.
I also think Tampa, if it all goes well, that's still quarterback issues aside, which
Yeah.
they may have, or maybe Baker, with Bruce Arians, it all works out, or Kyle whatever. But that's still a team that's got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin on offense, a bunch of good offensive linemen, Vita Vea on defense, Devin White at the second level, Jamel Dean at corner, Antoine Winfield at safety. Like, they still have real dudes.
They do.
On that team.
Yeah. Do you guys
in a division that's not great.
Yeah, and I think they have two corners. I'm forgetting the name of the other one. Carlton Davis, maybe?
would you guys have any idea? I'm sure you guys would, but how much better Lamar was his MVP year than Jalen Hurts was last year?
Oh, yeah. Lamar
Threw
threw
for
30
66% of his
30-some
passes,
touchdowns.
3,200 yards, 36 touchdowns, 6 picks.
I was going to say, I have the 6 picks
Okay.
in my brain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I interest you in the fact that he also ran for 1,200 yards?
Yes.
At 7 yards a clip?
Yep, you're correct.
He lapped Hurts that year, and I don't remember anybody coming out of that going, with not the roster that Hurts had.
Correct.
Not the roster.
Correct.
Just I like him. It's just a lot. So much more to come. Cleveland Browns Daily 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, so we have rookies here Friday. Is that our schedule for the week?
That's right. Friday
Friday,
minicamp.
Saturday, and
Eh.
Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Phase 2 is all week long, and then
Rookie minicamp, and then I'm pretty sure we're going to get into OTAs pretty soon thereafter, and then the mandatory minicamp will be
2
that
weeks
first,
of OTAs?
first week of June. Yeah, we're cutting it short this period, so because we have the extra week that comes back in training camp. By the way, happy birthday to Coach. I don't know if did we say that? Did we get that in there at all?
no, that's
No.
good job out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Happy
good job.
birthday to Coach Stefanski.
Happy birthday
All right.
to Coach Stefanski as well.
Hope he has a nice pie at his favorite pizzeria.
There you go. All right, very good.
No names.
We are back tomorrow. The next level is coming up next. Thanks for listening, everybody. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.